shout out to Gotate. Call him Marcus Gotate. We need to give a shout out to this dude, man. This man, I believe, is going to be the second coming. He's already better than Griezmann. Okay, when it says Braithwaite is already better than Griezmann, because the thing about Braithwaite is nobody knows where this guy came from. No one knows where this guy came from. We made jokes. I made jokes, and I said, "Look how embarrassing is that Barcelona? You're now relying on a dude called Braithwaite." Well, did you see that goal? And he was robbed of 2 Gs. Braithwaite should have walked off with 2 Gs. Braithwaite should have walked off that pitch with 2 Gs. Look, Real Mallorca are where exactly? Let me. I will get to the whole thing, but I want to just find out where Real Mallorca are right now. So Real Mallorca are 18th. Look, you can only beat what's in front of you. You can only beat what's in front of you, so that's fair. But this was easily a mismatch, and you can see that Barcelona are still trying to get back to their rhythm. So this wasn't the smooth, silky Barcelona that we're used to. But then again, how smooth and silky have they been under Setting or under Valverde? So lockdown or no lockdown, we've not really seen Barcelona really play that kind of smooth, sexy style that we know and are accustomed of them. But Vidal, how much must Barca fans disrespect this dude? How many times does this guy get the equalizer, the winning goal, the key first goal? I mean, this dude is grossly underrated. And I think someone asked me now, who is the most underrated player in the world? And I think I was going either towards like a brand or somewhere. Vidal is the most underrated player in the world. For what this guy does, tackling, passing, hustling, box to box, pressing, goal scoring, both feet, aerial. This dude can do everything. This dude can do everything. It's just that because one admires that his past his peak, like Vidal at his peak was during those 2 Copa America wins for Chile when Sanchez was there, basically Chile's golden generation. But the fact that he's past his peak and he can still say what's up, he can still ride, he can still be that dude. You have to give this guy props. You have to give him props. So Vidal is that dude, and I want to talk about, I don't know what to say about Griezmann. I personally don't know what to say about Griezmann. So before I get to Griezmann, let me go and talk about Messi. I've figured it out. I have finally figured it out. Guys, I'm going to send the link on Twitter for other people to join after I just do the whole post-match. So let me just get through the whole post-match analysis. Then I'll probably bring in the lads just to talk more. Because I want to talk about this and talk about the Inter Napoli game. I figured out Messi. I now know what it is. He is the most consistent footballer of all time. And that's just what he is. It isn't greatness, because consistency isn't greatness. Consistency is just consistency. He is the most consistent footballer we've ever seen in the history of the game. But the mistake that people make is that they now say consistency now equals greatness, which is stupid. Now people will say Real Mallorca are a bunch of bums. They're losers. They're sideshows. And Kubo and the 2 strings is their best player. A guy who looks like a child from anime. He looks like a child from anime. Okay, this dude looks like Saitama. This dude looks like Trunks. Basically, Gohan is Real Mallorca's best player. Gohan. Okay, and I'm talking about the young Gohan stroke Trunks is the best player. So that's what we're dealing with there. So again, it's like, okay, what this dude? But at the end of the day, every single game, like a machine, this guy shows up. And again, when you just look at what Messi does, is because we look at involvement. What are you doing? What positive things are you doing over 90 minutes? And Messi is passing, through balls, dribbling, beating players, creating space, connecting guys through, pulling strings, So he's just hustling and doing too much stuff. and he keeps doing it again and again and again. Then he'll have the odd game. And whenever he has an odd game when he plays badly, guys like, oh my gosh, look at this guy's trash. He's like, okay, I'll give you 2 bad games, then I'll give you like 10 damn good games where I say what's up. I'm gonna be like, So, but yeah, he is the most consistent player we've ever seen. And stop feeding me crap. I'm not a moron. That's the Messi Cristiano thing. It is a media farce. It's a media farce. As I've always said, Cristiano is greater than him based on his adaptability and what he's done for different teams. So he's greater. But the better player, there's never been a discussion, And I bought into it because maybe I was trying to do it to get views and get things. But as I said again, I was like, that's why I just did like 1 or 2 videos. But no, unless you're stupid, unless you're completely and totally brainless and stupid, do you buy into this whole who's better? It's a stupid, dumbass thing perpetuated by the media, a dumbass campaign. This dude he's of course he's the better player. So his consistency is crazy. It's crazy because we're still waiting for this dude to declare. This guy for about 10 years has just been playing extremely well at a high level. But again, look, Griezmann, Antoine Griezmann. Now, people will say that stop hating. People will say that I need to be fun because there are a lot of people because whenever I talk about Griezmann, people be like, oh no. We're talking about Griezmann, blah blah. The thing about Griezmann is this. I will post the link soon. I'm going to do the postman shit and I'm going to post the link in about 20-30 minutes. I'll post the link to them about 20-30 minutes. The thing about this is this. First of all, Griezmann looks like a French, like a retired French hairdresser. So he's lost weight. He just looks better with his beard. He looks odd. Callejon is a classy break. Side note, I know Callejon is a classy break. Yes, it's the first game back. Let's move so, but the optics are very bad. Braithwaite almost had 2 Gs. He had a very good first goal, close to getting a brace. And Braithwaite is looking high. So kind of look over your shoulder. I am convinced Griezmann didn't play today. I'm convinced. So that is maybe how I'm going to come to terms with what I saw, that he didn't play. He didn't play the game, so fair enough. We'll see what he does in the next game, because if Griezmann played, this could destroy his career. I think the longer and longer Griezmann just ghosts away games, because he normally plays well during home games, but the more and more you just are completely inconsequential in away games, I think he's going to hammer his career, because guys are going to be talking, and guys will be saying Braithwaite's greater than Griezmann, and people will talk about how much money was spent. You're a World Cup winner. You're a Europa League winner, so things are expected of you. And if you keep underperforming and being a trash liar like this, we don't know. Guys, it's coming. The link is coming. Relax, the link is coming. So look, just to round this off, man. Barcelona, for me, they were going to win La Liga. I expect Real Madrid to screw up against Eibar, and even if they don't, Barca going to win La Liga, and I think them winning La Liga again doesn't really change any perception. It doesn't really change it for me. Barcelona, you will only get my attention if you win the CL. That's the way you'll get my attention. But shout out to Braithwaite. Braithwaite, we need to give him more love, because he's already done more than Kevin Prince Boateng. We need to give him love, and I think this is such a great move for him. And similar to a Galo, where people were expecting him to fail, were expecting him to be crap, but he came through and he said, "What's up?" And again, for Messi, we can talk and say it's La Liga, it's Citrus and everything, but we have to take a step back and just at least acknowledge how this guy has been carrying this team in the absence of Xavi and Iniesta, with an over-the-hill Busquets and a cannibal who comes in and out and is on the decline, where Messi is somehow finding some way of getting G's, getting goals, getting assists, and just really saying what's up. So before I round this off, let me just talk about the Inter game against Napoli. So look, Lautaro Martinez did have a great game, and I do believe that Conte may have to make a strong decision because Lautaro Martinez is still thinking of that Barca link. I think that Barca link has sort of waved his head around. Napoli, I think that was just a great tactical plan from Napoli. Inter Milan, did they play better? Maybe. They controlled the game, but maybe. And in the words of the great Mourinho, yes, Inter may have had all the possession, but maybe Napoli were in control because that was part of their game plan. They absorbed, and they hit them on the soccer punch, and they counterattacked very well. And if Callejon wasn't a Class C break, it would have been 2-1 to Napoli. So good luck to Napoli next Wednesday. I'm not going to have to watch both games, the Arsenal City game and the Juve Napoli game. But Napoli are beating Juventus. That's not happening. So I think Juventus are going to be clinching the double. And and I think they said like Conte has won a trophy in his last 5 seasons. So unless he finds a way to win the Europa League, which is doubtful, I think he's going to end up being trophyless this season. But I think Inter will definitely be disappointed because I think most guys would have wanted a Juve Inter final. That would have probably been the better final. But you got to give credit to Napoli, man. I think they had a really good game plan. They did what they needed to do, and they got that ass, man. But let me just put out this thing. So guys, I'm sending out the tweets. I'm sending out the link for this hangout. So you guys we can join in and just talk. Link for open hangout. So I'm already ready. So guys, the link to the hangout is on the Twitter page. The link to the hangout is on the Twitter page. Get onto the Twitter page to join the hangout so we can talk about this. Join, get the link. Yeah, Ericsson, he scored directly from a corner kick. But the thing is that, so Ospina, you have to blame for that. That was a horrible mistake by Ospina. But then I think it was the Ericsson shot. He made a ridiculous save, an absolutely ridiculous save. It's only glimpses. It may only been 20 minutes. Sanchez was looking okay. Sanchez was looking pretty much okay. Sanchez was looking pretty much okay. So, oh my gosh, this dude does have to be in there. All right. We're bringing in the crew. Okay, so look, let's get all the crew in there. Let's get all the crew in here. So let me compress to let me compress to Sean. Let me compress to Sean. So Sean, I saw you having a back and forth and so forth on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So look, Messi, he did his thing. But let me ask you this, Sean. Does Messi's performance matter because he did it against a bunch of part-timers who are about to get relegated?
I mean, it depends how you want to look at it. I just, it's just enjoy watching him play on a consistent basis. I know you wanted to bring up the whole greatness thing, but just try to appreciate what he's doing on a weekly basis. And it's obviously fun to get on these little Twitter threads and talk about Cristiano and the back and forth and media narrative because it's pretty fun. But when you watch Messi's performance today, I know it was against Mallorca. I know they're in relegation trouble. They're probably going 18th, right. And their best player is little Gohan. So, I mean, which, by the way, I'm upset that Barca kind of let go to Real Madrid's academy and now he's on loan to Mallorca. But the whole point is Messi's overall performance. Even if he didn't score that, that last goal, which was nicely done as well, he was everywhere offensively. He was creating chances. He created like 6 chances. He was dribbling players. He set up Braithwaite multiple times. Could have had a hat trick of assists prior. He had the 2 assists and a goal. I mean, he was just everywhere. And this is after 3 months of no play, and he also was coming off a 2-month injury in the process. So if you take all things into account, yeah, I know it's Mallorca, but when you just look at it in a vacuum, his individual performance, and you compare it to what other players have done since the break, it's just insane. Like, you have to compare it to what other players have done in the Bundesliga and what players have done in the Liga today, other games, and yesterday in the Sevilla game, and compare it to the Coppa Italia match yesterday and today. Nobody has performed better than this. And it's after such a long break. And he's 33 years old nearly in like 10 days. It's just insane what we're seeing. And I know you don't want to attribute greatness and consistency, and you say they're very separate, but just appreciate what you're seeing before it's done, because I don't think we'll see something as consistent as this again.
No, you see, and I think because that's what I started off with on this thing. I said that, and this speaks to a interesting conversation for us to have. I said that Messi is the most consistent footballer of all time. There's never been a player who has consistently been this good ever in the history of the game. So I think does consistency equal greatness?
Well, greatness, a part of greatness is consistency. It's one of the categories that I think many people would tend to agree upon. But the problem is with greatness is that it's extremely subjective, as well as who the better footballer is. That's subjective as well. But I think greatness seems to hinge on, what you do in particular moments and if your team ends up winning. And I want to make a parallel. Like, people were talking about how this compares to Anfield, the Anfield game. Messi played similarly in this game than he did at Anfield. It was very similar. The only difference was, his teammates finish off the chances that he created. So greatness hinges on those particular moments. So if Alba had scored at Anfield, then it's a completely different conversation in terms of greatness and how you want to compare him to CR7. But since they didn't score, then it's taken away. But Messi had a nearly parallel performance. The only difference was like the 93rd minute goal, which again was sort of irrelevant because it was already 3-0. But the point was, it was so similar in the performance that greatness hinges on other players performing in those fine moments at times, which is why there's a fundamental flaw with it. But yeah, consistency is a part of greatness. So they're not completely mutually exclusive. They're kind of, it's like a subcategory of it, but if that's how you want to.
So let me come to Jamal now. So Jamal, in your opinion, does Messi's consistency equate to him being the greatest of all time?
I mean, yes, but no. If he was consistent but win a World Cup and do this in high octane matches, well then yes, it's not even a question. But just being consistent against Real Mallorca and Las Palmas FC,
Hey, no.
yeah.
Give some love. Real Mallorca are a great team. They're a great team.
No,
Give some love
yeah,
to
but
them.
I'm gonna give some love now because guys, as Sean said, Messi's turning 33 in about 10 days time. I think he's going until 40. This guy have no slowing down. Like Sean said, in all the fellas who come out from the break, Messi looked the best. He's 33. Are we gonna talk about Cristiano in this thing? Yes. Because,
Jamal, please don't pull me into what he
no,
did.
no, I just
If
have
you
to
just go,
say. I know
please,
this is
please,
about
Jamal,
Messi.
please, I'm begging you, Jamal, please
No,
don't.
I
Please
just have to say this about
because the
Cristiano.
guys will start disliking and start hating me. So please, just
No.
focus on this. I'm begging you, please.
Okay. Yeah, but I feel Messi might go till 40 because I can't remember the last 33-year-old who is playing so good and is playing every game. Guys, you have to remember this. Messi's not playing like 5 games with the manager is just picking him for the biggest game. He's playing every game 90 minutes. So yeah, so you have to give Messi his love, man. But I don't think he could play him as the greatest. But I agree with you. He could be the most consistent player of all time.
Okay, so come on, let me just do a little switcheroo in here. So from Mr. Daniel Spence, he says Messi was unreal today, but he has to do too much, and this is the issue. Is, and that is even what I was thinking in the first. I was like, man, this guy is doing way too much, which means that he can always. That is a fine role for winning La Liga or a Copa del Rey. You can't have that in a Champions League. If Messi has to do that much, he can never win a Champions League against a tougher team. they will get beat. So either in a quarter or a semi against a tougher team, if you're all you're relying on is Messi over two legs, you will get beat. You will get beat. So that's the thing. Just person says that Pele and Neymar are clear of R9, Copa Libertadores. Just best it. Your obsession with Neymar is unhealthy. Let me say this for the last time. If he doesn't bring me a World Cup, he is not sniffing R9. No one gives a damn about the Copa Libertadores. It's all about the World Cup and the Copa America. So, Mr. Yasser Saeed, does Messi's consistency equate to him being the GOAT?
Can you hear me, HH?
Yep, can
All
hear.
right.
Go for it.
See, the biggest problem I have with Messi is like, I mean, for me, the ideal footballer, the player that I want my like if I have kids, my child to be, the person I think, you know what, that's the
Please, Said, don't
perfect.
say this. Please don't say his name.
No, come on, HH, it's Messi. That's like if you look when you look at it, when you go on the playground and when you go outside, Messi's the type of player you emulate to try to be. But the problem I have with Messi is that I genuinely believe that he has too much influence in Barcelona as a whole club. And I feel like the problems he was having in Argentina and with that whole organization in terms of the football in Argentina, he is almost it seemed like it's almost replicating in Barcelona. Because the problem is Barcelona is not a good team built around Messi, and I feel like he has a lot to do with that. The him the playmaker. He is he literally took over the role of Iniesta and Xavi in playmaking. That's his number one primary role. And for me, that's not how you get the best. The best out of Messi is when he's scoring goals. That's for me. Messi, yes, he can create. He has so many assists, yes, but he cannot do both. You cannot do that. Football is played with 11 men. That's why I don't understand why you bought like Barcelona transfers doesn't make sense to me. You
So,
bought
okay,
yeah.
so you're saying that they are trying to cater too much. Okay, so are you saying that Messi should have a more restrictive role and they should build much more of a team rather than just building things to focus too much on Messi?
Yes, so what I'm saying is Barcelona's problem was like, oh, we want to get a signing to make Messi's happen. Like for example, I don't care how good what you call it what's that guy's as in Inter Milan. How did I forget his
Lautaro
name?
Martinez.
I don't care how good Lautaro Martinez is. Barcelona has too much deficiency in so many areas that they don't need a Lautaro Martinez for 100 and no, 111 million. That's a waste of money, in my opinion.
No, but see, side, but see, the issue is Barcelona are in a tough place. If you have a player who has done so much for you, is one of the most popular players of all time, literally single-handedly is critical to your brand. Remember, these guys, they're still a business, they're critical to your brand. You have to, at a point, acquiesce to him because you're like, we want to keep him happy. Because we have to look at both. From Barcelona's board's point of view, is yes, we want results on the pitch, but we also want the brand. We also want to make a profit. We also want to be profitable. And to keep both things happy, your most prized asset must be kept happy. Messi is one of the most valuable assets in sports. So you you do have to be like, Messi, who do you want and who do you want to make happy? Yes, we have to look and listen to the coach. Majo, what do you want? But see, the issue here is this, and this is what people don't understand. It's over. He's never winning another Champions League because his cycle is finished. Barcelona's cycle is finished. This is now the era of the PSGs, of Bayerns, of Liverpool, of so forth. So there are newer, younger, fresher teams and fresher squads who are coming in there. So, because remember, the last time they won it was in 2015. So It doesn't even matter who they buy and so forth. It's because I can't even think of anybody who Barcelona can buy and bring in that will then make them, or who is possible for them to get. So what? They can just get a flipping Aguero. They can just get a flipping Lewandowski. No, that's not realistic. So it's,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you have to just accept his influence based on what he has given to the club. But for them to win that Champions League, the players the other players just have to perform, you know.
But
And
then
honestly, that would be a different conversation because again, I said Coutinho, that's a bad move. Griezmann is a good move, but it has to be Griezmann and Griezmann can't be your star signing. It's going to be Griezmann and who else? So Barcelona, what they need is pretty much a David Villa or a really explosive, dynamic, attacking player, which they don't have because Cannibal is on the decline. Griezmann is a side chick. So until they get that, Messi will have to do so much of the legwork. And that's enough to win La Liga, but it's not enough to get on through. All right, let me bring in your boy, LB. LB. So does Messi's consistency equates to him being the GOAT?
Look, just because he is consistent for Barcelona, I don't think that equates to him being the GOAT. I mean, where has this consistency that he's been able to bring to the table for Barcelona been at Argentina over the last 6-7 years? I mean, we're talking about a player who can't even score in the round of 16 in the World Cup. And he did have his opportunity to almost single-handedly win the World Cup in 2014, and he wasn't able to do it. Look, I'm not wanting to sound as though I'm dismissing or underappreciating everything that he's been able to achieve in Barcelona, but if you're consistent, you'd be consistent in all areas, club, for your national side, wherever you're playing. And it's just really unfortunate for him because the Argentinian board have been willing to compromise and do everything to work in his favour. Not choosing players in which he hasn't gotten along with, players in which he doesn't think should be playing for Argentina, and yet he still hasn't been able to deliver anything for Argentina up until today. So, look, as I said, I don't want to sound as though I'm a hater or I'm dismissing anything that Messi has achieved, but if he was to be the GOAT, he'd be consistent for both Argentina and for Barcelona, which he is.
No, because you see, and this is what people have to grow up and understand. Someone can't just be perfect and amazing because, like, I remember when people say, okay, Messi is the GOAT because he scored a hat trick to qualify Argentina for the World Cup. That's a damn good feat. But now, perform at the World Cup, win Argentina the World Cup. I don't care what you do in qualification. What do you do at the World Cup? Again, as I said, he's supremely consistency. I don't like consistency equating to greatness. Greatness is something unique, something special. And I always say greatness is degree of difficulty, something iconic, where you had to really pull through, where your team needed you and they pull through to say what's up. Just being consistent against Tapas FC and Ablamos United is just like, it's still amazing. But being consistent in La Liga cannot make you the greatest player of all time. I'm sorry. It's like, that's stupid. That is completely stupid. So,
100%.
so sorry. Yeah, go on, LP. I mean, finish your point.
Yeah. So I mean, look, all these players that people have ongoing debates as being the GOATs. Pele, R9, Zidane, all these players that have won World Cups, and obviously at the end of the day, Messi hasn't even won a World Cup as well. So that's just my opinion and my take on Messi not being the GOAT.
Okay, so let me just take this quick super chat. So, from the thinker says, "Thank you for the super chat." The thinker, Messi doesn't control transfers. If he did, Neymar would be at Barcelona by now, and Coutinho, Griezmann, and Prince would never have been bought. First of all, Barcelona have been trying to get Neymar, but these things aren't easy to do. That's a fact. Second of all, he, nobody says that he controls transfers, but he has a huge say. 100%. Messi, he may not have said, I want Coutinho, but he wouldn't have rejected the notion of Coutinho because Messi would be like, well, this is a good player. Bring him in. Griezmann is a good player. Bring him in. So it's it's not as if he gets control over every signing, but he does get consulted. And there may be guys who says, no, I don't really want that. Or guys who I'm indifferent to. So Prince, Boateng, Griezmann, I'm indifferent to those guys because Messi is quite a passive guy. He's not really a forceful kind of dude. So, but he does have so much of an influence of signings. So, Sanmaya, Messi's consistency, does it equate to greatness, Sanmaya?
Yeah, well, Messi's consistency is definitely good enough for him to be a great, but he is not a GOAT because he hasn't done it for Argentina. For me to be a GOAT, you need to perform both international football and club football. He has been consistent for over 15 years, being not just a great playmaker, but also a great goal scorer, which makes him one of the greatest footballer ever in the game. But being a footballer is not just about your talent, it's also your mentality, which is undoubtedly Messi's biggest
Wait,
weakness.
wait. Sanmaya, I want you to repeat that again. So, guys, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to what Sanmaya said. Sanmaya, please tell the audience again what greatness is about.
So being a footballer is not just about your talent, it's also your mentality, which is undoubtedly Messi's biggest weakness. Messi had chances to win Argentina a World Cup and Copa America, but he underperformed. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I still think he is a great, but just not a GOAT.
Okay. Um, Plastic fan. Messi's consistency, does it equate to him being a GOAT or?
We all know that Messi is regarded as one of the greatest players to ever grace the football pitch. But some pundits say that he's the greatest of all time. Because they are judging solely on his Barcelona career. But in my opinion, in my side of view, Messi is one of the greatest footballers of all time. But he's not the greatest footballer of all time because he needs to replicate what he's doing for FC Barcelona to the Argentinian national team. Like let's say that in Messi,
So why can't we see the Barcelona Messi in Argentina? What is missing? What do you think the issue is?
this considers many factors. The first one is like let's say the Argentinian national team are trying so hard to play for Messi, but Messi tactically in the national team, Argentina need to have a manager that will give Messi a specific role in the team. Because when you look at the analysis of every Argentinian player, they've got quality players like Paulo Dybala, Giovanni Lo Celso, and they've got some very good defenders. They've got Nicolo Tagliafico and other decent defenders. So Messi, he could have won something for Argentina, but it's just like the manager of Argentina during, let's say that somebody like San Pauli in the 2018 FIFA
Mm.
World Cup, Like Sampaoli was tactically weak in those games. Like they were playing, he was finding a way to find a formation that will suit Messi, which totally cost him. He brought someone named Paulo Metza, and he benched Dybala. That had made no sense at all. For me, as your question you asked me, you told me that is Messi the greatest of all time? No, he's not, because Messi needs to do it for both uh, club and country. But it's not all his fault that he's bad for Argentina, because some of the managers that manage Argentina were, let's say, tactically lacking. Yes, that's what it was. They were tactically lacking, and also like Messi, he doesn't have a weak mentality. Of course, he has a strong mentality, but it's just like when in the most crucial games of Argentina, he usually doesn't perform to the levels that we all expect him to perform. Like if you see in that Chile versus Argentina Copa America finals in 2015 and in 2016, yes, he had a good performance, but it wasn't the performance that we expected him to have. We expected him to do more in those two finals. Also in that World Cup final, he
So
needed to do more.
these are the big moments. These are the moments that define you.
Yes, these are the moments that define your greatness. Like if you look at players like Ronaldo Nazario, he performed in the World Cup final against Brazil in 2002. He scored two goals that led them to win the World Cup. If you look at a player like let's say who's this Zinedine Zidane in the 1998 World Cup final, he scored two crucial quick goals in the
Two
first
G's,
half,
two G's.
and he was instrumental for France winning that final. So this is greatness, and if Messi like had a good performance against Germany, let's say that if he scored a goal against Germany and Argentina still lost, then I would have given him my respect because you showed up. But it's just the team wasn't good enough. But his performance was average in that World Cup final and also in those two Copa America finals. I remember he missed a 1v1 chance against Manuel Neuer. It was in the 68th minute, where like normally in Messi in those situations, he usually punishes you, kills you in that situation. So I think like in the mental side of you, I think Cristiano has the greater mentality than Lionel Messi, but talent-wise, Messi is the greatest player to have ever graced the game. It's an argument between him and Ronaldo Nazario de Lima.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Um.
that's my view.
Okay. So, Mr. Eye Test. Messi's consistency, does it equal to him being the GOAT for you? Eye test.
For me, in terms of as a footballer, Messi is the best footballer I've ever seen. For me, the best footballer ever. Yeah. And the reason,
So just in terms of your ability.
yes. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the people he's competing with, like Ronaldo, you could say he's the greatest finisher of all time, but you will never compete for being the best playmaker of all time. Ronaldinho, you could say he's the most skillful player of all time, but you can't say he's not competing for best finisher of all time. Messi, you could put him into conversation for best dribbler of all time, best finisher of all time, best playmaker of all time. But however, when it comes to greatness, I think you need to look at players that revolutionized the game. Players like Pele. For me, Pele is like the Michael Jordan of football, the Muhammad Ali of football. He's the original. He he's great because for me, he revolutionized the game. Ronaldinho is another one. For me, he revolutionized the game because we've never seen a guy like Ronaldinho perform these sorts of skills at the top level. He brought street football to the World Cup, to the Champions League. We've never seen anything like that. So I'd put these two players ahead of him in terms of greatness. Zinedine Zidane as well. What he did in the World Cup in 2006, even though he never won it, that's great. I think that's so. In terms of greatness, I wouldn't say Lionel Messi is probably not even top 5 because I don't think he revolutionized the sport. I think we've seen many players like Lionel Messi. I don't think he changed the game as much as these lot have, like the Pelés, like Ronaldinho's. What they did, the way they revolutionized the sport, I don't think he's up there with them. But in terms of ability, for me, he's the best ever. What he can do on a football pitch, he's the best.
No. As I've always said, and this is why I'm trying to get across to people. Ability and greatness are two very different things. Like for me, in terms of ability, Rick Riquelme is one of the best midfielders of all time. Just pure ability. But ability is just how good you are and your talent. But greatness is who you are as a person, your personality, your character, and how can you inspire your team through the most toughest situations? When things are hard, things are not ideal, can you figure out and find a way? Can you find a way of pulling through for your team when things are not ideal? Which is why I say I cannot see what Messi has achieved is great in terms of consistency, but being a great, that's Maradona. That's Zizou. That's it's those kinds of dudes. And I just think, so ability and greatness are two different things. Like for me, 100%, you cannot make a list in terms of ability and not put Messi in there. Messi is top 3, top 4 best football players we've ever seen. This is so it's because he can do too much offensively, and I would argue that in a sense he is a bit revolutionary because I don't think we've seen an attacker score these amounts of goals and be this creative. I don't think we've ever seen it at this level. Yes, it's La Liga. Yes, it's a sideshow league and so forth. But we've never seen a dude score these amounts of goals and be this creative. We've never seen that. So that in itself is revolutionary and it's new. Just like how we'd never seen a striker like R9 before. We'd never seen a defender like Beckenbauer before. We'd never seen a player do what Dino did before. I say bring the streets to it. But I think ability and greatness is different. So let me just take the super chat. So the thinker says Argentina are trash, though. Don't forget they had Maradona as a coach. He can't carry trash like Rojo, Mendy, Wash Di Maria, Amani. Stop bringing excuses. 2014, he had the perfect team. That was the perfect opportunity, and he didn't get it done. Yes, you can say 2014. So stop skipping over the stuff. 2014, quality team, right team, got them to the final, and that defense held Germany. They held Germany until the 170th minute. So for Messi, you had 170 minutes to say what's up. You didn't do it. You did what it is, and you had 2 back-to-back finals, 2 back-to-back Copa America finals. I'm sorry, man. Ample opportunity, ample opportunity. So Vilton C. Does Messi's consistency equate to him being the GOAT?
Of this generation, you could say of this generation, yeah, maybe, yeah. But overall goals, I'm sorry. If you don't have a World Cup, you can't be in that conversation. I'm sorry. You just can't. Like you could be consistent for Barcelona, yeah, that's amazing. That's good. You're consistent, amazing. But when it comes, because it's the World Cup, everybody watches the World Cup. I don't care if you don't like soccer, you watch the World Cup.
So let me ask you. Okay, let me play the other side. Let me play with that. So why isn't consistency greatness for you, and why is the World Cup so important for you to say that is the greatness with regards to the World Cup?
Because consistently, to me, it's important too. Don't get me wrong, but anybody can be consistent. Look at Lewandowski; he's consistent every year in the Bundesliga. But does that mean he's a really GOAT player? Like until he wins that Champions League, we can't really put him in that conversation. But the World Cup to me will always be the highest competition because even my brother doesn't watch soccer, but he watches the World Cup. Everybody watches it. I'm sorry. Nobody's ever gonna be like, oh, that Champions League final. But unless you're a true football fan like we are, or people are gonna remember the Champions League. But we're talking about people that don't watch soccer. They're always gonna remember the World Cup. When you mention Pele, it's World Cup. R9 World Cup. Maradona, it's always the World Cup. Every great player have won it. Like, I'm sorry, Messi. You probably you the best probably in this generation, this decade. Yeah, you the best player, but GOAT wise, I'm sorry. You can't be on my list, man. I'm sorry. I'm not hating. It's just facts. I'm sorry.
Okay, so why? Let me just. So why can't Messi perform for Argentina like he performs for Barcelona? What is he missing? What is the issue? Why can't we see this transcendent dude inspire Argentina to either a World Cup or a Copa America?
See, the other thing I've noticed about Messi, maybe Messi kind of buys into his own hype. Maybe Messi think he's so good that he could play every single position for Argentina. In a way, when you watch his 2018 World Cup, Messi was playing as a winger, striker, central attacking midfielder. Bro, you can't do all that. See, that's why I'm gonna give Ronaldo the edge. Messi's the better footballer than Cristiano Ronaldo, but Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm gonna say he's greater than Messi because he can adapt. He probably could have adapted. He's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be the striker. Just give me service, and I'm gonna put the ball in the back of the net. But Messi, you can't be having problem with players in the team because you don't like playing with them. Yo, you just play your role. Just play your role. Everybody play their role. Then you might win. You might have won something. But you can't play everything. You can't buy into your own hype and think you're gonna carry the team by yourself. No. Everybody has just like Maradona. 1986, yeah, he carried that team, but everybody had their role. Maradona would just he played his role. His role was to score goals and to create, which is what he did. But Messi, you can't play as a attacking midfielder or winger or striker. It doesn't work, man. I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are. It doesn't work.
No. I mean, so before I even go to Samuel, I think Messi Vilton makes a key point, and this is the point I've tried to make: is Messi's biggest problem, Argentina's biggest problem, is treating Argentina like it's Barcelona. So the way Messi plays for Argentina is like if he's playing for Barcelona. And that is where you have to give someone like a Cristiano credit. Because Cristiano is like, all I care about is what do I need to do to win for this team? So when he plays for Portugal, he changes the way that he plays. Because like, okay, now I need to sort of do more because this is a different system, a different team, a different environment, different players. And Argentina's biggest issue is just give Messi his role. Give Messi his role, i.e., so decide either he's an attacker or he's a number 10. But he has a specific role and everyone else has their role. And then you go. But the issue is Messi has been given the same kind of freedom for Barca that he has for Argentina. Because people say, wait, look at how good he is for Barca. He can do the same for Argentina. But no. Club football and international football are different. International football is far harder because of how little time you have with your teammates. So you don't really have the same kind of chemistry as you would in your club side. So it is even more so important that you treat international football completely differently from the club game. Spain were lucky because for Spain, it was Barcelona. So Spain could pretty much mimic what Barca did because 80% of the players were from Barcelona. But in Argentina, where Argentines don't play like Spaniards, they don't play like the Barca guys. They play like South Americans. So they're very attacking. So Messi needed to adapt his flipping game. Let me bring in this super chat here. Just besting. Thank you for the super chat. What's made Pele great is Copa Libertadores, not World Cup. Just besting, you're smoking crack. You're smoking crack cocaine. Pele isn't known. If you ask a guy from the street, they say, "Oh my Pele, he's the guy that won the Copa Libertadores. He's known for the World Cup." Just besting, put down the crack pipe. I am begging you. You shouldn't be smoking on a Saturday night, please, 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 please. Okay, I'm begging you. HH, you said La Liga is the best footballing league. I said La Liga plays the best quality football. Listen to what I said. The best quality for football. That doesn't mean that it's the toughest league or the hardest league. It just means that the way they play football, in my view, the right way. Intricate, short passing, easy on the eye. Everybody has great individual ability. But because Barcelona are so powerful, they're so strong, and this is my issue with La Liga. To beat Barcelona, You can't play good football. You've got to play thugged out football. Men behind the ball, route one, physicality, break their legs. But La Liga teams play football the right way. But sometimes playing football the right way, if you're the weaker team, ain't going to do well against a Barcelona. If you're the inferior team against Barcelona, screw the proper way of playing football, take it to the streets, break their legs, men behind the ball, defensive, ugly, thugged out, route one. So let's be clear. Red Devil Studio. Messi's consistency, does it equate to him being the GOAT?
So I'm probably going to be in the minority in this conversation. Like, is this like, are we saying this in reaction to the game today? Because I do think that, you know, I don't think we're reacting too far in the other way based on the first appearance of Messi against the Mallorca side. And that's not being negative about Messi, but I feel like the question should be more about like, the fact that Messi looks like he's kept himself fit, like he's looked like he's.
Oh, no. I think because it's sort of a thing of, again, because people's things are like, okay, guys have been on lockdown for so long, not really been match fit. So you expect people to be, come back and not be fully sharp.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's so sharp, looking so good, it's just a reminder of, my God, this guy is so consistent. Season after season, he maintains such a high level. And in my lifetime, I've never seen a player maintain like an 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10 performance for the best part of a decade or more. We've never seen that before. So the question is, does that consistency equate to his greatest of all time based on how consistent he's been?
I get that, HH. I do. I just think that at the same time, like this is a Mallorca side. Like they are 18th in the league, and one of the things that we have, and that's no disrespect to Mallorca, because I know they be real, but they've obviously not played for how many months or so. And the reality is that we did say when football came back that like some of the teams, especially the smaller teams that don't have depth, are going to struggle against some of the big teams, especially teams that have the technical players that have like technical ability perform. And I said even when we talk about Manchester United that like in the initial phases, the players that have the more technically gifted players are probably going to perform better because you don't necessarily need fitness to be able to produce technical ability. So I'm not necessarily surprised that Messi performed the way that he performed because I've always said that Messi is a very technically gifted player. I also don't necessarily think that Messi not being whether he's the GOAT or not for me is not me to decide. Although I would be in the minority here, and I don't think that his lackluster performances or his in quote lackluster performance at the World Cup derived from the fact that he should be considered the GOAT or not. I think the positive thing for me looking at this game, specifically at this game, Ronaldo Messi, is just, as you said, is the fact that he does seem sharp, the fact that he hasn't lost that sort of technical ability. And I think that as far as Barcelona are concerned, if they obviously wanted to win the league and progress in the Champions League, then they obviously need him to be that way. Do I think that this is, because the thing of how fickle fans are is that like he'll then play against they'll play against I don't know Atletico Madrid or Valencia sort of next, and he'll be missing and he won't have an assist or score, and everyone will say, "Oh my goodness, Messi's a flop," and Cristiano Ronaldo and blah blah blah. They're gonna do that, So my point is that like I think everyone just needs to chill a bit. I think we just need to sort of see what happens. I think that when football gets back in its full sort of swing, and certainly when the country competitions come back, Copa America, and stuff like that, then maybe we can have a further assessment of things. I agree with everyone on the consistency aspect of Lionel Messi, and I think that I don't think anyone has a debate on that. He is one of the greatest.
No, but what's in your view of how you view football greatness? Would you say that if a player has been this consistent for this amount of time, that is an argument for him being the greatest footballer of all time?
Yeah, of course. Because for me, I mean, this is my opinion. That's why. But for me, when I look at great players, it's about consistency, but it's also the context in terms of the team that they're actually in. So, for example, if a player has been consistent and but at the same time has been in a team of players that are not up to his level, I consider that player greater than maybe a player, for example, who isn't a player of absolute superstars and happens to win things that make any sense. So the reality is that right now, Messi, certainly over the last couple of seasons, despite has been carrying this Barcelona side and still has maintained that level of performance and consistency. So even though I believe that, for example, Ronaldo is good in a different sense because of what he's been able to do and his age and where he's won things, and obviously for his country, the context that Messi is in right now is in a different situation than Cristiano Ronaldo has, for example. So yeah, consistency for me, as well as the context of team that you're playing in, will always triumph just a trophy or whatever. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. So Samuel, round us off then. Messi's consistency, does that equate to him being the GOAT?
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say quite a lot of things, so just like bear with me on this.
We're here, man.
Messi. First of all, talking about the game, you have to like praise Messi in the fact that he's kept his fitness. He's match sharp, and the fact that he had 2 assists and 1 goal in that game. I know it's against Mallorca or whatever their names are, but he like, you're playing them, so you might as well do what you need to do when the team's played in front of you. To be honest, when you're talking about greatness, I feel like Messi is a victim of his own success. Now, personally, for me, GOAT wise, I think he's top 10 of all time for me. Now, I'm gonna break it down. Let's talk about the good stuff about Messi. Messi has revolutionized football. I think he's made a new definition of the word consistency, because before, consistency used to be like 3, 4, 5 years. He's done it for exactly. He's done it for 13 to 15 years. Do you know how mad that is? I mean, there's one season when he scored 91 goals in a calendar year. I think that's greatness in itself. Like Messi, when you're talking about ability-wise, he's one of the greatest footballers of all time. When you just look at the way he plays, it's so pleasing to the eye. The way he just goes past players like there's nothing there. So for me, top 10. Now, going on I feel like the international side of things is the one that puts his name down a little bit. Now, for Messi, I would say, am I gonna blame him that he had a brick manager for most of the time when he was at Argentina? Am I gonna blame him that he had a brick defense? Now, I know you're gonna tell me about the 2014 World Cup.
What was I going to say? 2014.
I want to get to that, but I'm not gonna blame him that he has brick people for a team around him. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I remember the hangout, the funniest hangout, when Liverpool beat Barcelona, and that emergency hangout was very funny. But you even said, HH, don't blame it all on Messi. Why didn't Jordi Alba finish his chances? Why didn't so and so finish their chances? So where I base Messi argument on is, obviously, I don't really base it on La Liga because they're practically playing mostly great farmers, part-time great farmers. But I base it on, obviously, the internationals and the Champions League. He has done his thing in the Champions League. Yes, he has done his thing in the Champions League. But where he gets me a little bit is, somebody said it before, is the mentality of it. I feel like in certain aspects, again, just say like the 2014 or other World Cup appearances, he would do some things where I think, Messi, like, what are you doing? Do you understand? However, I would not blame the 2014 World Cup final on Messi. I'll blame that on Higuain, but that's another story I will talk about. But with Messi, he does do some things where I think he's a victim of, he's not the loudest person on the pitch. He lets the football do his talking. He's not the one that shouts at players, do this, do that, do that. Do you understand? I feel like he's the one. He's very introverted, if that's a word, introverted.
Yeah.
But he's an introvert. He lets the football do his talking. But that, for me, the element of leadership isn't there, and this is where I have to credit Ronaldo in that essence with his leadership and his know how to just win a game, just win a game, just get the ball in the back of the net. Messi sometimes doesn't lack that. Yeah, he lacks that sometimes, and that's why I say in some moments where I watch Messi in like a big game and he would do something and be just like let's go back to the game against Liverpool where he took an extra touch and Matic took it away from him. I was just like, why didn't you not shoot first time? Do you understand? Obviously, for me, I'm glad he took an extra touch, but in as a neutral, why did he take an extra touch? So it's just things like that that makes me think that, oh wow, okay, Messi, you should have done this there instead of that. But we're being very itty bitty with it. But when it comes to the greatest of all times, you have to be itty bitty with it, because the greatest, for you to be calling somebody the greatest of all time, they have to be nearly perfect in everything. That's why people call Maradona or Pele the greatest of all time. However, I do put him up there with the greatest of all time. I just put him in my top 10. However, what he lacks a little bit and what other people gain, like in the Zidane, the Pele, and the Maradona, that's why I put him under them.
Okay,
So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
okay, so who is your GOAT then? Who, in your opinion, is the singular greatest football player of all time? If you had to pick.
But it's actually a mashup between two. But right now, how I'm rating it will be Pele first and Maradona second.
Okay, so why would you put Pele and Maradona ahead of Messi if Messi has been far more consistent than both of them? So what's your argument
Because
for Messi?
so Pele and Maradona. Now, if let's take Maradona. This guy was on crack and cocaine. I don't care what anybody says. This guy was on drugs, and he still led Napoli to a title. That is funny in itself. And he also led Argentina to a World Cup. Now that's the same for Pele. Obviously, Pele, people say he revolutionized football and everything, but Pele, he did it for club and country. That's why I say with Messi, to an argument that may not be his fault or may be his fault, but his international ventures hasn't been that great as Maradona and Pele, so I have to put him under them.
Okay. All right. So let me just take this
I just
quick.
want to bring up a point, guys. Just a quick point. You guys may have forgotten that the Golden Ball winner in 2014 was Messi. I don't know how the hell he won that, but yeah.
Oh, no. I remember because people keep bringing that up. See, the 2014 World Cup, it was engineered for Messi to win. That was how it was built up, because they were like, this is Messi's coming out party. This is where he wins. And once he wins, he's the face of the sport. He's the greatest of all time. This just is like the perfect story. But Germany messed that up. And I think what they wanted to do is, if we can still give him the best player award, then maybe we can still argue that he's the GOAT. But anyone that's watched, because look, I watch every game in the World Cup. When I watch World Cup, for me, the best player, for me, it's a toss between Robin or Lamb in terms of consistency from first group game until your final game. For me, it's between Robin or Lamb, because Lamb was consistent all the way through. Robin almost carried a very average Dutch side to that final, and he bowled in third place playoff against 7-1. So, so let me just say this from just person said that Zad consistently flops in the Champions League needs to be mentioned. Just best in Sunday, Aiba. That's what I'm going to say. Sunday against Aiba, we ride and we live. I want to also talk about Griezmann. Now, this is my assessment. This is my my final thing, and let me just see what you guys think. This is a bad move. This is a flop. This is going to harm his career. This was the total wrong move for Griezmann. And if I was his agent, this may sound drastic, force a move. Either return to Atletico or head over to Juventus or some other side. It's been a failure. It's not going to work. He's going to have 1 or 2 games where it's fine, 1 or 3 games that's fine. Griezmann, unless Barcelona gets either a Neymar or an Aguero or another explosive player, Griezmann, for what Barca wanted from him, which is the same thing they wanted from Coutinho, he's not going to give it to them. The more and more this guy has complete no-shows back to back, the worse he'll be. In France, the spotlight wasn't on him. He was part of a team and a system. Atletico, the spotlight wasn't on him. There was no pressure, part of a team and a system. He was a marquee signing. Atletico, when they got Griezmann, that was not a marquee signing. Yeah, they're just going, yeah, cool, come. This is a marquee signing. And Griezmann has never been in this situation. I can already tell what Griezmann's personality is. He's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's a passive guy. He even said he wants to finish his career in the MLS. He's already thinking about the American market. So his personality isn't about, okay, it's now time to really operate and perform big time. So that's where I stand. This is a flop. This is a mess up, and this just hasn't worked out. But I want to see what you guys think. So, Jamal, Griezmann's move to Barcelona, will you already call it a flop, or should we give him more time?
I don't know. You guys could criticize somebody who didn't play today. Griezmann didn't play that game. Did he play?
I don't think he played. Personally, I don't think he played. Someone told me that he played today. I think they're lying, because honestly, I didn't see him play at all today. That's just me. But
I watched the game from minute 1 to minute 90, and this guy was Casper the Ghost. Braithwaite is doing better than him. Braithwaite did better than him, and even Suarez come on for 30 minutes and do better than him. I don't understand the hype around this guy. What does he do? What does he really do? I feel Barcelona, this is just me. I don't want it to happen, but I think they should do this. They should force a swap deal for either Salah or Mane. So let Griezmann go to Liverpool, and they could take either Salah or Mane. Because Griezmann is trash. I'm sorry. He's like, as you said, he's a side chick. And he's not a rich side chick. He's a poor man side chick. The guys who have £5, they could afford Griezmann. That is his level. This guy is trash, and I really don't know what's a hype. If Griezmann looked like Modric, nobody would have talked about it. That's all I gotta say, because I don't understand the hype.
Wow. Okay. Damn. So, LB, Griezmann, give me your thoughts.
Griezmann's fading. He's fading badly. He's going from a player who did so well at Atletico Madrid during the time he was there under Simeone, and this was a move when he left Barcelona at the end of last season that could have easily happened 2 seasons ago.
So do you think he should have moved then? Or he should have stayed at Atletico?
I think he should have stayed at Atletico, but to be honest, when he moved, everyone thought that Atletico would finish, that this generation of players under the coaching of Diego Simeone finished. He wasn't the only player who left. Diego Godin, who's been the heart and soul of that defense for the last 5-6 years, had left as well. And with the friendship in which Griezmann had shared with Diego Godin, that may have contributed to his desire to leave as well. But look, Atletico have been doing so well since these two players have left, and even if he did want to go back, I don't know whether they'd want him, because it's been a move that has not worked. And I think all the tension that's being put on Suarez and how he's finished, I think Griezmann's more at risk of being someone who would leave Barcelona before Suarez, because at least Suarez has been able to prove himself in the past at Barcelona. Yes, it was a better team in 2014-15, but he did contribute to that Champions League and that treble. So I think it's been a bad move. So yeah, I think it's just a career. It's a really big turning point in Griezmann's career.
All right. Eye test. Griezmann, man, how do you assess his move to Barca? What has gone wrong? What needs to go right? Can he still turn it around?
For me, I didn't understand the Griezmann move to Barcelona in the first place, because I don't think they needed him. Like Barcelona, they need a winger.
Yeah,
He's not. Because they need someone to replace Suarez. He's not that. He's not a lone striker for me. They need a winger. He's not a winger. Like, what? I don't
No, no,
think they
no.
needed him.
They needed him because the same reason why they got Coutinho, which is they needed replacements for Iniesta, i.e., a guy who can occupy that space between midfield and attack and play off of Messi in that hole. That's the kind of area that they're looking for. So for Messi to be given, which is what Coutinho plays in that number 10, in that half space. So they did need him. But the issue is they also needed another more dynamic attacking player. But carry on.
I disagree. I think they needed a winger more. I think they needed their Neymar more. Or I think even a Hazard. I think that would have been a good move for them because now they have an issue with width. They don't have a winger. I think that would have been a smarter move. Or I think they needed a striker more to a long-term replacement for Luis Suarez because now when you look at Griezmann, they're struggling to find his best position. They don't know where to play him as a striker. When Luis Suarez was out, he never performed because for me he's not a lone striker. As a winger, he's not performing. And so I didn't understand the move in the first place. And for me, Griezmann at Atletico Madrid, he wasn't even world class anyway. I think he was always overrated. I think he's a good player. He's probably just a category below world class, but I don't think he was ever world class. So I didn't understand the Griezmann move in the first place for me anyway.
Okay, so let's say Barca decide to sell him. If you are Griezmann's agent, what do you say? Return to Atletico or move where?
Go to Atletico, maybe PSG would be a good move if they sell Neymar. Maybe a swap deal with Neymar because Neymar wants to leave. Griezmann's not doing well at Barca, so maybe go to PSG. I think that's his type of club. He like you said earlier, he's not a winner. He's not that guy that cares about winning trophies. He just wants to be the star. PSG is the right club for him. A player like him, where he just wants to have a lot of money, be a big brand. PSG is a good club for him. Or go to MLS. I don't think he will ever be that player that people say he was a world class player. So yeah, I think PSG would be a good move for him. Or go to MLS.
Okay. Yes, Said, man. Griezmann.
Well, see, I did a little calculating. I don't know the exact numbers, but it looks like when Neymar left Barcelona, in order for Barcelona to replace him with a star or a player that can maybe join in with a front three with Suarez and Messi, they bought Dembele for 105 million pounds. They bought Coutinho for 144 million pounds, which is still on loan. Okay, he's still on loan for Bayern Munich. Just remember that he's still a Barcelona player. Just remember that. So they have Dembele that's injured right now, Coutinho that's in Bayern Munich on loan that Bayern Munich does not want to keep him because he's not worth it, and they have now Griezmann, and they paid 120 million, and then they did this. This is like a this just shows lack of leadership by Barcelona. Griezmann should never have been a Barcelona player. That's just a fact. You- Like Barcelona should never have bought Griezmann. I don't like Griezmann is not a Barcelona type of player. Like you look at the history of Barcelona and the type of player that played for Barcelona, the type of player that Barcelona had signed and everything. Griezmann is not a Barcelona type of player. It's just a fact. And I don't know, maybe I don't know who's his agent is or anything, but I don't know how I don't know how players make a decision to make moves. But did Griezmann never did he not understand what kind of team Barcelona was before he went there? Like, don't you sometimes have to think about like how would I fit into this team? Would this be good for my career and stuff like that? Because it like the previous people said, this was just never a good fit, and it was just obvious for majority of people where people were like Griezmann to Barcelona. Okay, let's see how it is, but no one was confident that this guy was gonna be like the next Neymar or for Barcelona or be integral for Barcelona. No one was ever convinced, and I just felt like what is he? I don't think he's gonna leave. That's a problem. He's not gonna leave. Like Coutinho's not gonna leave. Like these players, I feel like their goal was their end destination was to go to Barcelona, and is this the eagerness of players that they don't want to go down? Because let's be
Or,
honest, from here on,
or maybe it's to go there to win a trophy.
but what trophy though? What are
La
you
Liga, La Liga.
like? I mean, come on. I mean, Barcelona. I don't think Barcelona fans rate La Liga. Let's
No,
be
no,
honest. The
no,
trophy they won the Champions League.
put it this way. Put it this way. Why did Henry leave Arsenal? He left Arsenal because he wanted to complete the full set of winning the Champions League. So for Griezmann is that Atletico, very difficult for them to win the Champions League, but I've got the World Cup. I'm not going to leave this, but I've got the World Cup. I've got a Europa League. I'm going to get a La Liga crown, and I've probably got a better chance of winning the Champions League with Barcelona than I do with Atletico.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because for me, if I'm Saint-Étienne, I would not focus my energy on Griezmann. I'll focus in on Dembele or Ansu Fati. Like, let's be honest. At Dembele, if he's not injured or everything, he will start over Griezmann because he's obviously a better player. Let's
Hmm.
be fine. As a talent, Dembele is a far better talent than Griezmann. I think his whole career has ever been. Like the guy is 2-footed. The guy can play left or right winger. Will fit so perfectly for Barcelona, and like Ansu Fati as well. Like I just don't. At this point, Griezmann is going to be in the same situation as Philippe Coutinho. Barcelona's going to go trying to find a loan move for him just to get him away from the club, and it's just sad. From he's 29 years old, and this is how your career is going to end up. Like next, he's going to end up 2 years later, going to be end up at MLS, and wow, Griezmann, the guy that went from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona that never worked. It's just sad, man.
Okay, okay. So Wilton C. Griezmann, talking it.
The reason why I think Griezmann struggled the most at Barca, the same reason why Coutinho struggled too. Him and Messi play the same position. If you watch France and Atletico play, Griezmann play at the number 10. Giroud plays up top, and for Atletico, Diego Costa play up top. And the other thing too, Griezmann is not used to that style of football. Pass the ball. Like Griezmann's not used to none of that play style. I can't really blame him. It's Barca's fault because the way I see it, Barca bought Griezmann to replace Neymar because they needed a dribbler like Neymar who can overflood the defenses and stuff like that. Because Neymar was fast, he can pick up the ball on the wing, and he was a really good dribbler. But Griezmann is not that type of player. He's a central attacking midfielder. If you watch France play, he plays the number 10, and Giroud plays up top. And if you watch Atletico, he plays the number 10, and Diego Costa was up top. Like the way they're forcing him to play on the wing, it's not his fault. Like if you watch Barca play, his best performance I believe was against Real Betis last in August. I think it was a 5-2. Messi was injured that game. That was his best game. Like I can't really blame him that much because Lionel Messi's on the team. If Lionel Messi's not on the team, maybe he plays
So,
better.
okay, but is there a way that he can somehow get better? Is it down to the tactics changing, Griezmann improving, or it's just going to be a bad fit? He just needs to just say, "I flopped. Let me move on to another team."
I would just say I'm flopped. Just move on to a different team because he can't play on the wing. They just like today. Griezmann played, by the way. I didn't see him, but he played. He can't play on the wing. Either you play him as a cam or you play him as a number 9 role. Either that, but you have Suarez. That's the other thing. I don't understand why he went. I know he wants that Champions League so bad, but really, Barca already had those Suarez, man. You like and Dembele. They didn't really need you. Like you went there to win an easy trophy, which you might not get. Like if I was Griezmann, I would beg for Simeone to take me back to Atletico Madrid. To be honest with you,
Also, so is it like he should go back?
but that's the thing. I wouldn't go back. If I'm Griezmann, I would have just. I would. My pride is too high. I wouldn't go back because the way he left Atletico was just. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back, but the best move for him is to go back. But me, I wouldn't go back though.
Okay, okay. Um, plastic fan. Thoughts on Griezmann? Plastic fan.
I think this move, it was a big signing move for FC Barcelona. I think the pressure got to him, that he knew that he was on the spotlight because Barcelona signed, made a big money move to sign him in the club. But still, Griezmann's best position is supporting striker. When he was playing at Atletico Madrid, he used to play as a supporting striker, supporting Diego Costa or Fernando Torres when he played for Atletico. So that's his best position. Even when he plays for France, he plays as a supporting striker. If Barcelona played these formations, then I think this would get the best out of Griezmann. If they played a 4-2-3-1 formation, if they played a 4-3-1-2 formation, if they played a 4-3-2-1 formation, and also if they played a 4-2-2-2 formation. Because in these five formations, you can play two strikers. One striker will drop back, and the other striker, his job is to be the main goal scorer. But if Barcelona played these formations, then it will restrict the wingers, like that of Ousmane Dembele. It will restrict his playing time because in these formations it mostly requires midfielders. So I think Griezmann knew what he was getting into when he signed that contract. He knew that I'm going on a team which play possession-based football, and they usually play a classic 4-3-3 formation. So in which it's kind of Griezmann's fault because he knew what he was getting into. So for me, I think
But then, even if it's a 4-3-3 or so forth, which is what they used to do when Iniesta was around, couldn't he somehow fill the Iniesta role? Maybe he's not as good a dribbler or has good ball control and balance, but couldn't he still fill that role in terms of finding those key clever passes in that number 10 hole position?
I think when you talk about Griezmann and Iniesta, they
No,
are
no, no,
different
see, I'm
kind
not
of player.
comparing him to Iniesta. Please, I'm not comparing him to Iniesta. Just say that he can fill that role in his own image.
Yes, when you are talking about creating those disguise passes, those through balls to feed the strikers, yes, he could do that. But the key thing is Iniesta has had more attributes to his game. So Griezmann was he's let's say that you're right, he could play as a number 10, but that's where Messi plays. So he knew what he was getting into. He knew that he wouldn't play his best position
So then,
because of Messi.
so why did he move? If he knew what he was getting into, why did he move just for the trophies?
I think he thought that he could form, let's say, I think he thought that he could form a great chemistry with Suarez and Messi the way Neymar did, but it's completely the opposite of what he thought because Neymar's a different elite league of player compared to Griezmann. So maybe in his image, he thought that like I'm coming to Barcelona, I'm going to win them the Champions League, I'm going to win them the La Liga, and my name, my brand, my market will become even bigger and bigger. So that's what he thought. And I'm sure that his agent also told him that. I think his agent convinced if he'd make that move, his brand, his image, and his name will be bigger. But that's not how it turned out to be. So if I was Griezmann right now, as long as Barcelona play in this style, it won't suit him. He should make a move before it's too late. You should make a move to a club that let's say suits his style.
So
Maybe if you
okay, so where if you were to advise him before we move to the next dude, back to Atletico or where?
well, I would say back to Atletico, but the way and the situation in which he left, I don't think that it will be easy for him to go back. Maybe if let's look at the tactical side of things. If he would go to maybe like a Juventus, maybe, or let's say this is tough. It's very tough. Uh, maybe a PSG or a Man United, or let's say like a Liverpool team which plays usually plays on the counter attacks, maybe. But Griezmann should go to a counter attacking team. That's what brings out the best of him. Just like in that FIFA 2018 World Cup, France was a counter attacking team, and we saw the best of Griezmann. So my advice is for him to find that club, to analyze the club first before he moves, because I don't think that he did that well when he was considering this move.
Okay, okay. Um, so Sanmaya, have you spoken on this?
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh,
So Griezmann, in my opinion, he doesn't fit Barcelona at all. When Griezmann was playing for Atletico France, he was always a second striker, and he played quite well there. But Barcelona's formation is always the 4-3-3. They will always play with three midfielders, so it's impossible for him to play as a second striker. They want Barcelona. They want two midfielders to fill Xavi and Iniesta's shoes. There's no way Griezmann can play a central midfielder, and he won't play ahead of Suarez and a striker. So where does he play? He can only play as a left winger, but he's terrible as a left winger in any systems, which is why Griezmann is flopping at the moment, and I do think he will flop even worse than Coutinho. So unless Barcelona change the formation to a 4-2-3-1, which is very unlikely, then Griezmann will never succeed at Barcelona.
so what would your advice for him be?
So let's say Lautaro Martinez leaves. I think him being at Inter, playing beside Lukaku would be pretty good.
Okay, I mean, even thinking about it now, man, you see, there are certain players who are good at in offensive teams, possession teams, defensive teams. Griezmann is great in defensive teams. What is Atletico? Pragmatic defensive. What is France? Pragmatic defensive. Is it any surprise that Griezmann works really well for Atletico and for France, who both have a very similar approach, but against a different, more offensive possession team like Barcelona, Griezmann seems lost. So you have to know, unless you know you're adaptable, you have to know where your strengths lie. All right, Red Devil with Griezmann.
Yeah, no, I think I won't really go for like a lot of what everyone else has really said because that's essentially I pretty much agree with most people. I mean, it is obviously interesting that people said that he actually obviously does seem to play well for France, and at times he has played on the left wing forward for France as well, and he's done okay. So I think your point about the style of team, like defensive versus pragmatic, going forward, I think is a factor as well. About that. From what I can establish, I think I remember at the start people saying Griezmann didn't play. Is that because he did play? He played for 57 minutes. We're
No,
clear
I
on
mean,
that, right?
oh, no. Basically, that's the joke. The joke is that he actually did
Oh,
play,
sorry.
but he pretty much didn't play. So yeah.
Of course, no, that's me not getting it. Of course, but no, of course. So, I mean, I think this is more about. I mean, I think for those who saying like why this will take, like at the end of the day, like it is about winning trophies, about getting things, and I think that from Griezmann's point of view, like looking at Atletico Madrid, he probably did think, are Atletico Madrid going to have an opportunity to win a major trophy again? Because I think gone are the days. Despite what Atletico did against Liverpool, I'm sure everyone's happy sort of about that. But do people really think Atletico Madrid are going to win the Champions League? don't think so. You know, if people think Atletico Madrid were going to win the Liga, they're in sixth place in the Liga right now. You know, they might not even qualify for the Champions League next season. So, you know, as you go into the end of your career, 2028, you had the opportunity to try and win the Champions League with Atletico. You didn't. He probably wants to win a major trophy at some point. Understandably as a player, because football careers are short, and so he thought going to Barcelona would give him the better chance of obviously winning a domestic trophy and potentially winning a Champions League as well. And from that point of view, I don't blame him. You know, so because I'm sure that's what a lot of even Pogba wanted to do.
You know, yeah, that's what Henry did, and all other people. So
yeah, exactly. You know, so I think you've got to look at players and that. You know, at the end of the day, people don't, and we even do this ourselves as well. Like people don't remember your good performance against Ibar. You know, when you retire, they remember like it's like what trophies did you win? You know, so what competitions win you? And that is, you know, what people remember. You know, unless you're up the level of like your Messi's and Ronaldo's and stuff like that. Well, you've got skill compets. The reality is like it's about what major trophies that you actually win. And I think Sam Mai made a good point in terms of, you know, I do think that this is more on Barcelona and their sort of ridiculous transfer strategy and buying players and not really thinking about what system to play in. So I don't think you can necessarily blame Griezmann for that. You know, that's just Barcelona's transfer for policy. But San Martin made a very, very good point, which I agree with in that. I think that this whole Lautaro Martinez thing, you know, especially in this nature of this COVID crisis with money and stuff, that I think maybe potentially a trade deal with
him and Griezmann.
Exactly, yeah, you know, so then Griezmann can potentially play as a support striker, which we know he's good at, and obviously Inter Milan are, you know, Conte is quite a defensive based sort of coach, so possibly going to Inter Milan would maybe suit Griezmann playing alongside Lukaku, and then you know Martinez can obviously play with Barcelona, so that actually might be a good option.
All right, Samuel.
Griezmann. Funny story. He's the definition of a system merchant. Not any probably downplay on him. It's just that he relies on a system. You can see with Anton when he was at Atletico Madrid, he there was a lot of counter-attacking football, a lot of defending, and he was playing behind the striker, either like Diego Costa, Torres, not Torres. Well, yeah, Torres actually. Yeah, so he was, as you keep on saying, a side chick or the side show to someone. Obviously, at France, it works because he was being supported with Giroud, and obviously you had Mbappe as well there. When I look at it, I look at why
Hello. Yo, Samuel, are you there? Samuel, hello. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. I think Samuel has sort of gone under there. So okay. So just to sort of round this off before we Samuel, are you back?
Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. So I think you got
Sorry, my laptop was moving mad. But yeah, quickly, just to round it off. Yeah, he's a system merchant player. Bad move for Barcelona. I don't know what they were thinking. It seemed like they were just wanted to get any player. When they were wanted to sign Griezmann, and obviously with the Coutinho and Dembele signings, they didn't really think about it. So yeah, it's partly to blame with Griezmann and with Barcelona.
Okay. So just to round ourselves off right now before we go, European competitions, Champions League, Europa League. We hear August, but nothing is confirmed. So we'll just sort of go around the room with this and we'll just get everyone's thoughts. How do you think the European competitions are going to be completed? Do you think it's going to be neutral venue, one leg? They may do 2 legs, or you think it'll be too difficult for it to be completed for the logistics? Do you think that we will be able to realistically see a Champions League and the Europa League be completed this coming August? Jamal?
Yeah, so I'm hearing they said that how it's gonna be in Lisbon, and so that's gonna be one leg. But I mean, come on, is that really the Champions League? Because
Nope.
if that is how they finish it, Liverpool is still champions. I don't care nobody says.
Jamal, relax. Jamal, relax. Relax, relax.
Because yeah, you can see with the Premier League, it's still 15 games you have to play. But this you can't play the Champions League with one leg. Come on. I mean I'll watch it, but I don't know. I don't know if it will feel right. I feel if it can't get two legs, home and away, I feel they should just scrap it or delay it. But yeah, the talk right now is I'm hearing that it's going down in Lisbon. They're gonna play some games in Portugal, and then they'll host the final in Turkey.
Okay. LB.
I sincerely hope that they somehow organise the tournament to be finished off with two legs, whether that's within a 2 or 3 week period, almost like a back-to-back-to-back, or back-to-back if it's two legs over 2 days. Obviously, the players.
Do you think that they'll be able to have travel and so forth?
Yeah, obviously that's dependent on the situation with COVID. Obviously, you guys would know about how the UK has been heavily impacted over the last 2 to 3 months. Italy, Spain, but yeah, even if it was like what Jamal was saying in a neutral venue, it wouldn't feel like the Champions League at all. And to be honest, it would be very hard to watch. But you can only play according to what's safe for players and for everyone. So, like I said, I hope that they somehow organise it for two legs, even if it's in a neutral stadium or venue. So even if it was one leg, it'd be pretty disappointing, but better than nothing.
All right. Yasir Saeed.
Okay, so um, like everyone, I want two legs. Like I want the Champions League. That's what I want. But the reality is, COVID-19 is I mean, there's so many words I could say about COVID-19, but COVID-19 is. I feel like that's gonna make it difficult for them to do two legs. So the thing I think what's gonna happen is Portugal has been named. So I think it will be in Portugal. But the way I think they should go about is that if they can't do two legs because of travel restriction and it's just not feasible, then they should reset. Liverpool fans will love this. Reset the round 16 and make it one leg. That's what I'll do, because and then I mean Atletico Madrid might be mad. Fans might be mad. PSG fans might be mad, but because there's half of the games of the round of 16 are already done, and half of them are still has to
Eh,
play
no,
that
no,
one leg.
you can't replay. You can't.
I
For me, it's either you go ahead with something or you just cancel the whole thing. You can't replay. That's that. No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
But like there's an argument that those games should never have happened. Let's be honest. With the COVID-19 situation, those games should never have happened. Like PSG and Dortmund was playing at an empty stadium, and in the Atletico Madrid and Liverpool there was a
No, no,
packed stadium.
you
Those
know,
games shouldn't have happened,
no,
anyways.
no, but even if we look at those two games, the Dortmund PSG game, yes, behind closed doors, it was still 11v11. It's still a football game. The Liverpool game, you had your fans. It wasn't behind closed doors. You had your fans. It was in your home stadium. You had your fans behind you, and Atletico beat you fair and square. So it is what it is. You can't replay that again because that's not how football works. So either you scrap the entire thing, or let's now see how we can move forward. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, but so because the thing is, you have to do something. And for me, I want to see the CL played. I don't care if it's one leg, five legs, six leg. I don't. I mean, it doesn't matter. I want to see it finished. I want to see it completed, and I just don't see how you can say, "All right, we're gonna play the second leg of Atletico and Man City, the second leg of Juventus and Lyon, and all these games," and they say, "All right, from now on, it's gonna be one leg." It just this doesn't make sense to me. So for me, it makes in terms of the schedule and everything, That's why I said it would make sense if you said, okay, you know what, this is the new format. This is the way it has to be. We can travel. It's gonna be like a World Cup Euro style. It's gonna be like an international tournament. We're gonna have it one venue. We're gonna have like a couple of stadiums. No traveling, no nothing. And we're gonna say, boo hoo, we didn't finish a round of 16, but we're gonna start from a round of 16 and we're gonna finish it and we're gonna crown a winner. And at the end of the day, is COVID-19. There's gonna be an asterisk to whoever wins it, anyways. But it's actually gonna be. I think it's be very entertaining. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for PSG fans, Atletico Madrid fans, Borussia Dortmund fans, all these fans. I mean, for me, it's gonna be more football to watch. It's gonna be more interesting, and I could care less because United is not in the Champions League. But at the end of the day, for me, it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be interesting. We didn't have the Euros, so this gonna have that international feel to it because it's like a one tie. Every game is crucial, and yeah, I won't mind. Yeah.
Okay, and let's just hear this from. Says they could have two legs in the neutral, no fans anywhere. Then it doesn't work. The only way that two legs work is home and away, and the away goal. If you're having two legs and neutral venues, then it defeats the purpose of what two legs is supposed to be. I.e., this is my home stadium. I get home advantage. You're coming away, but your advantage is that you have the away goal, so you still have to have that advantage in there. All right, Vilton C.
Yeah, I think Champions League's coming back. I think UEFA, they want that money. It's coming back. But the one that, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's gonna remind me of the World Cup and like international, but it's the Champions League. It's gonna feel so weird because teams are gonna go at it like that. Okay, guys, like a team at Atletico, guys, we just need to park the bus for 90 minutes for one game, and we don't gotta worry about the second leg. We could do that, but when you have the second leg, that's where all the drama comes in. That's what makes the Champions League. So just like last season when Atletico beat, I think, Juventus 2-0, everybody thought it was over. Then that drama happened. But if it does come back, I'm gonna be happy. I can't complain. But I don't agree with what you guys are saying. They should replay all the. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Just continue it. Just continue it. You can't go back. Just like Messi can't go back, you can't go back. Just keep moving on.
So, do you think it will be completed, or do you think it will be cancelled?
Nah, I think it's gonna be completed for sure. I hear rumors this week they're gonna announce what they're gonna do, but I think it's coming back for sure.
Okay. San Maya.
Yeah, if Champions League returns, I think it's most likely going to be in a neutral venue, and it will be one leg, in my opinion.
And would you be happy with that? Or would you want them to fight for two legs and trying to find a way of having safe travel?
I would much rather it to be two legs, but if it's one leg, then at least I'll take it if it's going to be one leg. But I much prefer two legs.
Okay. All right. I test.
I think that what they should try to do is complete all the leagues by August. Yeah.
Which is the
And
plan.
then, yeah. And then in August play the Champions League. Two legs. Yeah. And I think they should cancel preseason friendlies. Cancel preseason and make the Champions League like preseason. And for the teams that are not in Europe, they can arrange their own friendlies if they want to prepare for the next season. And then next season, continue next season as normal. So basically play Champions League like a preseason friendly for the teams that are in it. And if you're not in it, you could arrange your own friendlies. I think that should be the plan.
Okay, no, that's interesting. Okay. Plastic fan.
I think that the Champions League is there is no beauty of the Champions League without the second leg, the home and away leg. What makes the Champions League special compared to other competitions is that, let's say, for example, the first leg We are playing in the Santiago Bernabeu. Now at the second leg, you have to come face us at the San Siro in front of our fans. Like there is a beauty to that. There is a uniqueness about the going to different famous stadiums in Europe to play with its fans. But if for me, playing in neutral venues with no fans, there is no excitement to it. But in these situations they are forced to do it. So if I was, let's say, the authority, I say that if I was the president of the UEFA, I would probably be best to just cancel the whole thing, because I can't imagine a situation playing in a Champions League final with no fans at all.
That is
Like
crazy.
that is impossible to imagine. So
But it's still football. That as crazy as it would be, and as mad as it would be, at the end of the day, fans are cool. We're here for it. We're here for the for football. So if that's all we are given, I wouldn't cancel it because you don't have fans. Because I'm like, look, at the end of the day, we are here to watch the best, play the best, and admire the very best at doing this kind of stuff. And I don't think we can cancel it because there are going to be no fans. That's crazy.
yes, so I heard that they want to arrange it in Portugal, in in the neutral venues,
Yeah, Lisbon, yeah.
Lisbon. So yeah, at least we will get to watch some football, but of course and obviously it won't be the same as it was. It won't. Unless they can find a way to at least sneak in a few fans in, but yeah, that will be complicated. And the travel restrictions makes it almost impossible to have the return leg. So this, I think, is the only option, or to just null and void the whole competition. But as you say, we are desperate to watch some football. It doesn't matter whether there is fans or not. So yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna finish all the leagues first, and they're gonna arrange the Champions League in August. I think that's the possible solution to
Okay.
this scenario.
Um, Red Devil Studio.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same. And on top of the fact that obviously the teams obviously have not been played for a while when it sort of resumes, you know, um, the quality of the Champions League is just not going to be great. I mean, it's almost the first time in a while that the Champions League could possibly be comparable to like the FA Cup. I know people say that's almost blasphemous, but as a lot of people already said, the what makes the Champions League so beautiful is the sort of the away goal, the two-legged pair, the different home fans. There is no real advantage to any other team if it's one leg and it's played at a neutral venue. It seems to be more like, well, we need to get the game, we need to get this Champions League sort of wrapped up, which obviously means that anyone who kind of wins the Champions League is not really going to get that same, I would argue, prestige, winning it. I think maybe psychologically deep down, people would still think that Liverpool are the Champions League holders, because, you're winning it like a neutral venue, if that makes any sense. And there's not a lot that we can sort of do about it because of the nature of the COVID sort of situation. Personally, I know that a lot of people saying like no Champions League was better than nothing. So, but I don't know. I just feel like it's just not the same competition. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, no one really cares about the Europa League, fair enough. So, but like, it just doesn't feel like the same competition. So from clearly from a logistical point of view and a financial point of view, I get why it needs to continue. So and why I need to sort of resolve it. So I think that's fine. But I think from a pure fan sort of entertainment sort of perspective, I almost feel like I would rather they just wait for things to resolve and finish. with obviously circumstances and when they can.
Okay. So you'd be in support of them sort of cancelling it, or
Yeah,
they delaying it.
I would the cancelling or certainly delaying it, So, and like I said, no, logistically and financially, that's an issue, which is why at the end of the day, like it is what it is. You just have to accept it. But I think just purely from an entertainment, fan perspective, if I think fans going, if we're seeing the billing, let's say, I don't know, that in the quarterfinal, like Juventus are drawn against Real Madrid, for example, and it's played in some island somewhere with no fans. I don't think you're gonna really get the same. It's not gonna feel the same at all. It's not. The quality is not gonna be the same. And as I think Sanmai mentioned, Sanmai mentioned before, if it's only one leg, the reality is that teams are gonna think, well, it's only one game, so we don't want to really give much away. So let's sort of defend quite a bit. So you are probably going to get a lot of boring defensive. It's like that. Similar to like the World Cup sometimes.
Like the final.
Everyone knows that the best. I thought when I watch the World Cup, it's the group stage games. The group stage games are the most entertaining because that's when you see the giant slayers. That's when you see teams go at it. When it comes to the knockout rounds, everyone becomes conservative and defensive and doesn't want to let anything go. So you're going to have Champions League games that are just Atletico Madrid version 2 to Atletico Madrid version 4. And is that what the Champions League is? It sucks. But like I said, I can understand logistical point of view and finance that. I mean, a lot of people in the comments that if United aren't there, like United, I'm over the fact that United are not in the Champions League currently. That will be set to change from next season, no doubt. So
easy.
Come on, Chelsea aren't stiff in our top 4. Let's be real. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, man.
All right, Samuel, round us off, Samuel.
This is a very, very bad situation. I know we all love the Champions League. I guess most of us are Champions League merchants, but the Champions League won't be the same if we're doing one leg. I mean, look at the scores from the past seasons, from 4-0 down to 6-5. I'm guessing. The Barcelona, the Camp Nou comeback from 3-0 down against Barcelona to 4-3 with Liverpool last season. The Atletico Madrid the Juventus comeback against Atletico Madrid. Like, this is why it makes the Champions League so special because it's not one-off game. It's, can you do it for 2 games? And that's what makes the Champions League the best competition in club football, because of the fact that you actually see who is the best. Because obviously over one game, as somebody else said, that you can defend for like 90 minutes and like have like a lucky goal and you get through. That's why I think like if they go with this plan, I just feel like Atlanta will probably win it because they have every chance of winning it. They have any chance of winning it. But I just feel like they should just scrap it. I'm not, because I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm doing it for my own biases, but really and truly, it's the Champions League ain't going to be the same. The Champions League is the Champions League for a reason. If you're going to take out the way the home and away goals, if you're going to take away the fans, if you're going to take away the essence of the Champions League, what's the point of the Champions League? I mean, anybody that wins it, as Red Devil said, would you really think that they're actually Champions League winners? Like, people still think that Liverpool are the Champions League holders. But yeah.
No. I think just to round us off before we think, I'll take anything. And I'll just, because football is football. But at the end of the day, we still have time. Who knew we would get this far and have football when we were in the situation back in March or even in April? But the fact that we've gotten this far is progress. We still have time till August. Got the rest of June, whole of July. My hope, and this, it may be wrong, but my hope is if they can find this is my hope. By August, more countries have announced that they are COVID free. Like, what's it called? So New Zealand have announced that they are COVID free, and I think another European country. Hopefully, over the next few weeks, over the next month, more and more countries are like, boom, COVID free. We're COVID free. We're COVID free. So we get to a situation where most countries are COVID free, and even those that aren't, the numbers are so low that we can then have safe flights to these various places. Because look, it's Europe. Okay. See, this is like the world, and it'd be difficult, but you're just having 2 hour, 3 hour, hour and a half flights from France to Belgium, well, France to Germany, Germany to England, England to Spain, Spain to Italy, and so forth. So if more and more countries can be COVID free and so forth, and they can just organize safe flights to and from these places, I think I'm just hoping and praying they can somehow save it, somehow, some way. Guys, it's been swell, it's been good, it's been real, and I will see you guys on Sunday when Zad, we pray rights. Peace out. All right, peace out, peace
Take
out.
care, bro. Take care.
Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.